Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Phoenix Empire, the 6-week-old fire ant colony that is destined to become a great fire ant kingdom of ant power and might. The queen's brood has been exploding in numbers, and the demand for food, resources, and space increases more and more with every new adult fire ant worker maturing to join the growing army. But today, the ants are in for a special treat as we connect the colony to the biggest space they've ever seen. This brand new ant park, complete with a delicious picnic waiting for them. Welcome to the AntsCanada Ant Channel. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon. Welcome to the AC family. Enjoy! Behold, the Phoenix Empire's newest premium real estate. An ant park. You'll really get a kick out of their interesting reaction and picnic within this ant park, as well as something truly incredible I filmed back at the nest afterward. So keep on watching until the end. So this grand ant park will officially be the biggest space the Phoenix Empire will have ever accessed. So far, the colony has only known the space of their founding test tube, and just last week, their small feeding chamber and water test tube. They don't know it yet, but their fire ant territory is about to get a whole lot larger. Now, I created the park using a simple kitchenware container decorated with sand, stones, sticks, and dry moss. I had to decorate minimally and keep everything dry so that the ants won't try to move in here when we connect them. And just so you know, something really funny is coming up in a bit about that. But now, AC family, I need your help. What should we name this ant park? Please take the time to vote here on an official park name. I trust you'll make it a good one. Thank you, AC Council, for your input. Now, before we officially open this ant park for business, let's have a look into the Phoenix Empire's nest, shall we? Behold the queen we've named the Ember Empress, sitting majestically over her massive bed of brood. We can see eggs, young larvae, and some pupae. Check out that young light-colored worker lovingly licking the larvae with her antibiotic saliva to keep them all free of mold and germs. Just adorable. But this, incredibly, is only one section of the colony's brood pile. Here's another section with pupae and pupating larvae, and yet another section with intermediate and mature larvae. This clearly is one massive brood pile. And if you compare the size of the queen's gaster now to her gaster size just 2 weeks ago, you'll see that a ton more eggs are about to be born soon. The Phoenix Empire is doing so well. But here's the thing. With more and more mouths to feed, they've not only had to eat a lot, but of course, they've also been generating a lot of waste. Within the colony's test tube portal, the colony's garbage pile and toilet area have been getting quite full. In nature, soil creatures and the elements would clean this up. But in this case, the ants depend on me. Let's clean up their mess. Wiping their garbage pile up. Ooh, look at that ant mitten. Kinda looks like earwax. Now to clean up their toilet area. Yummy! Ant feces. Cleaning up after the ants made me realize that it was time for the ants to have a new, larger space so that the area where they eat would not have to be the same area they poop and dump their garbage. Plus, I felt the fire ants were ready for a larger space now, one where they could get out and satisfy their innate need to forage. This new ant park would offer the perfect solution and contribute to the Phoenix Empire's overall well-being. It's time to give the colony their new park. Ooh, how exciting! Let's do this. Here was the tube that would offer a bridge to the park that would connect to the test tube portal. Here I've prepared a freshly chopped up mealworm on a bed of leaf, so they could enjoy a picnic in their new park. The colony was already sending out foragers into the test tube portal, so I knew they were hungry. I placed the delicious meal inside. And now to connect the ant park tube to the test tube portal. Here we go. Carefully removing the plug and inserting the tube inside. And voila! Ant Park connected. Hope you like your new park, Phoenix Empire. Let's watch. It wasn't long before some brave ants began to wander into the tube, ever curiously, and stepped onto the uncharted grounds of the new ant park. And that's when joy took over their bodies. The ants immediately set off to explore, and in a rush they wandered every corner of the ant park they could. They inspected the sands, climbed the branches and moss, scaled the walls, crawled around the rocks, and meticulously mapped out this new vast land of epic proportions. Never had they explored such an open space. What a discovery! After a bit of exploring, some ants ran back through the tube, filling the area with pheromones along the way to signal for other colony members to come check out the newly discovered lands. This ant didn't even bother going all the way back to the nest. It had to get back to the ant park ASAP. The colony back in the test tube would smell its come hither pheromones eventually. And indeed, it was clear that inside the nest, news had reached the colony of the ant park, and more workers set off to investigate the rumors of the new exciting lands just beyond. I watched as more and more workers emerged and frolicked about. Strangely, our picnic preparations were ignored during this park opening celebration. I think the ants were more preoccupied with exploring the new space to notice or even care about food right now. And remember what I said about making the park an undesirable environment for nesting? Well, check out this bold ant, eagerly trying to dig a tunnel. Do you think the ants like this new space or what? Sure enough, eventually one inquisitive ant came to discover that on this random leaf in the middle of the park lay a butchered mealworm buffet for a hungry empire. It began to feast on the mealworm meat. And while it did, along came a second ant who would go on to help spread the pheromones to inform the other ants that, hey, forget the park. There's actual food here. It wasn't long before word spread to the entire colony and ants were all over the mealworm meat, chowing down. Soon this ant picnic was the new talk of the empire. Feast well, my beloved ants. Feast! It was just so satisfying to watch the ants gathering to eat as a pack, as well as traveling back to the nest to enforce the pheromone trail to the mealworm picnic buffet on a leaf. In fact, the new ant park and picnic caused such a stir that back at the nest, I noticed only a few workers had chosen to remain at home with the queen. Surely some rules were being broken here. I don't blame them though. This was an awesome day for our Phoenix Empire. An hour later, I took a peek into the nest and saw something truly amazing. Pieces of the mealworm had been brought back to the nest for further consumption. The usual worker-to-worker trophallaxis was also happening, as they distributed the mealworm meat to homebound workers who couldn't leave the nest. But what I found the most amazing was something I noticed during trophallaxis occurring between worker ants and the larvae. Check this out, AC family. Here you'll see workers feeding the larvae as they regurgitate blobs of pre-digested mealworm meat. But check out this one worker that began to dig deep into the brood pile to pick out a seemingly random young larva and proceeded to feed it. It was at this moment that something truly incredible dawned on me. To think that with all the larvae around, the worker traveled deep into the pile to pick out this larva in particular to feed. This blew my mind because it was evidence that the ants had some sort of system going on that ensured all larvae were eating. I suspect that the larvae release a pheromone indicating when they're hungry, and the workers somehow are able to detect the larvae that need food the most, who may not necessarily be at the most accessible places of the brood pile. In ant society, no child is left unfed, even if you happen to be at the bottom of the pile. After the ant finished feeding the larva, I watched as it proceeded deeper into the pile to feed another hidden larva tucked away within the pile. It was a beautiful thought to consider that in the ant world, no larva is ever left forgotten or neglected, and that the only time the young do go hungry is when the entire colony can't find food and the whole colony goes hungry. The ants rise and fall together as a family. What's even more amazing is imagining what it would be like when the colony reaches hundreds, thousands, or even millions of larvae. Not even taking into account the additional maintenance the eggs, larvae, and pupae require on top of feeding duties. It's mind-blowing, the degree of organization and systemization ants require to ensure all colony needs are met every single day. AC family, after today's epic events, it was super satisfying to see the ants doing what they're designed to do naturally. In the days following, the colony continued to travel back and forth between their ant park and the nest in search of food. I'll be placing their meat in here from now on. As an additional gift, I prepared a test tube full of brown sugar water and attached it to their test tube portal, so our workers could drink it at any time and acquire the energy needed to power their great work. I think we did good, guys. The Phoenix Empire would all rest with full bellies for another week. I truly appreciate that a lot of you guys seem to enjoy following the evolution and progress of this fire ant colony. They're well on the road to success now. I believe they've surpassed the hardest part of laying down the foundation to a fully functioning ant colony. Not every ant colony survives this initial founding stage. But thankfully, our Phoenix Empire here is one of the lucky ones. I expect in just a few weeks more, the Phoenix Empire will have hundreds or even thousands of workers. They'll soon start to grow large enough to live with allies like springtails and isopods that would eat up their waste, big enough to eventually move into a formicarium and outworlds, ferocious enough to consume large prey, and soon explode in numbers so much that they'll need to be housed in a full-blown terrarium. But I'm in no rush, because for now, I'm just treasuring all these intimate moments with the Phoenix Empire, particularly with the Ember Empress. Because the thing I noticed while keeping their predecessors, the Fire Nation, was the bigger the colony got, the less and less I saw the Queen, and once they finally moved into a terrarium, I never ever saw her again, even to the day she died privately in the darkness of her nest. So I've resolved to enjoy these precious moments with our Phoenix Empire Queen, while we still can. And through it all, I'll continue filming the Phoenix Empire's epic journey to becoming the greatest ant colony of the Antiverse. From the bottom of my heart, guys, thank you for watching and supporting the ants. It's Ant Love forever. AC family, our Phoenix Empire is doing so well, wouldn't you say? So much is in store ahead, so if you haven't yet, smash that subscribe button and bell icon now, and hit all so you get notified at every upload, because I believe notifications seem to be broken, but the YouTube support team is on it. Also, don't forget to hit the like button every single time, including now. It would really mean a lot to me. Thank you guys. AC Inner Colony, I have left a hidden cookie for you here. If you would like to watch extended play footage of the Phoenix Empire exploring their new ant park, as well as a certain creature that mysteriously somehow managed to infiltrate and enter the ant park, see if you can spot it. Just a quick announcement, if you've wanted to get into ant keeping, we're having our 10th year anniversary sale at AntsCanada.com. Just use the coupon code ANTLOVEFOREVER to get 10% off all AC ant farms and equipment at the store. Thanks so much for the 10 years of support, guys. And now it's time for the AC question of the week. Last week we asked, what do you look forward to the most in the Phoenix Empire's future? Congratulations to Bruce Hendershot, who answered, I'm most looking forward to the emergence of the super majors. Congratulations, Bruce, you just won a free ultimate ant keeping handbook from our shop. In this week's AC question of the week, we ask, why did the ant park need to be minimally decorated and kept dry? Leave your answer in the comment section, and you could also win a free ebook handbook from our shop. Hope you can subscribe to the channel as we upload every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video to help us keep making more. It's Ant Love forever.